All right, guys, let's get started. Today we're gonna start covering chapter 5. Today I'll mostly lecture about some of the basics, calculation of returns, how to look at arithmetic returns, geometric returns, dollar weighted returns, and that sort of stuff. And we'll talk about a little bit things like, risk premium, something like price of risk, Sharpe ratio, and stuff. And on Thursday, we're going to look at some of the historical data on different asset classes. We'll kind of get started on that a little bit today, but let's get through that. All right, without further ado, let's start talking about returns. Of course, we're talking about portfolio returns in general. Obviously, we can look at individual stocks, and individual stocks is a trivial portfolio that consists of only one stock. So when we say portfolio return or holding period return, we're talking about, and we're going to give that a subscript. Let's call that T. Value at T minus value at T minus 1 plus any cash income. Or we can rewrite this as 1 plus not 1 plus, I'm sorry. Value at T divided by value at T minus 1 minus 1 plus, I'm going to call this cash yield. Well, the cash yield is cash income that period divided by what you want to call value last period. We can think of this as capital gains yield. Sure. I'm going to give you guys this PDF, so you don't have to take the picture. You know, as they say it in the $6 million man, we have the technology. All I have to do is print PDF, email it to you guys. Anybody else using any kind of tech in your classes? What do they do? Just PowerPoints? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, EKU doesn't give touch computers, but hey, you can buy one. I mean, this is only $1,200. It has 32 gigs of memory, 2 terabytes of hard drive. It has 32 processors. It's not that expensive. I mean, capital gains yields. I don't expect them to be Excel wizards. Don't get me wrong. I have to be specialist. It's basically value T. So in a sense, holding period return is capital gains yield plus I'm gonna call this, let's call it cash yield. As you know, securities have cash distribution, right? In the case of bonds, that would be coupons. In the case of stocks, that would be dividends. And prices actually do change. You may have bought a stock at $100 and next year it's $98. That doesn't necessarily mean you lost money. You just had a capital loss. If they paid $5 in dividends, you still made money. Now that's easy to calculate. In fact, if you guys want, hey, let's go ahead and do it. I know this is trivial, but since I'm going to write some macros on this thing, let me save this with a different name. No, I don't want to put it in my OneDrive. It keeps wanting to put it into my OneDrive. Let's call this uh, return calculations. If you guys already have the developer open, did I show you how to have that available to you guys? Okay. Go to macros. Oops. Go to Visual Basic. I'm going to insert a new module. And let's do a function. My keyboard, again, wants to do funny stuff. Every once in a while, it keeps repeating. And let's call this hold return. And P now. Okay, I'm going to switch to my laptop keyboard. It's double. P last is double. And optional iCache equals 0. Optional iCache and it's double equals 0. Okay. That optional means if I don't include it, it's assumed to be 0. I assign a default value. I know this is very trivial, but I want you to learn this sort of stuff. Instead of writing an Excel formula, just go ahead and use your own function. And hold return is equal to uh, P now minus, or let's just go ahead and do it. P now minus P last plus iCache divided by P last. That's it. It's simple. So purchase price, current price, cash income. You know my obsession with colors. And let's make these dollar. Bought it at $23. It's now 50. And I also made $10 cash income. I'm gonna give that a Welsh crimson color, also known as C8102E.